Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Paranormal Happenings and Starseed/Envoys. I'm Kevin Kane, and here with us is your host, Cherie Shune. And we're here to talk to you about Starseed, Envoys, Paranormal, all kinds of different things. And we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves if this is your first video of ours watching. I'm a paranormal investigator and a haunted collector who's been around the paranormal, well, at least the ghost side, all of my life, and I really love it. Um, my uh, website, myhauntedDolls.com, will be below there, so you can check that out. I have several books published and a little store there. And also my YouTube channel, which should show down there now. My Haunted Dolls on YouTube, where you can go check out some videos I've made of my haunted items. And shame on me, this year Christmas was the last video I did. I did a live video on there this year. Shame on me that I haven't been posting regular videos, though, just shorts and that one live, because TikTok has usurped my time. I have fans on TikTok now, so I do lives there. But I'm going to try to get back on YouTube. So now I'm going to stop rambling and turn it over to Cherie to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Cherie Shone. I run several Facebook groups, Creepy Dolls and the Paranormal Experience, Spiritual Awakening, Starseeds / Envoys, and I help my sister run Creepy Places in the Paranormal. You can reach me there. You could also befriend me on Facebook. I go under Cherie Leon, Leon, Shone. Also, I have a Telegram chat group for Starseeds and Envoys. It's private, so if you join my Spiritual Awakening group, just text me in the group and I can put you in the private group. It's private, so that way people can talk about their experiences, questions, where most people can't see it because a lot of people are afraid to, open up about some of the wild stuff that they have, and believe me, I know. So anyway, you can reach me there.
All right, today is July 14, 2026. And as we usually do in the videos, we'd like to share, and tonight I have an item to share out of my collection. I've done some really positive, sweet items. I haven't done a negative yet. So brace yourselves. If you're highly sensitive, you might get the willies off of it right away, or maybe not. Maybe it's all gone now. But this item, and it's sealed up, is a little skeleton on a rope. I don't think you'll be able to see the salt around it. Maybe you can. There's
Oh
some
yeah,
salt around it.
I
I
can
don't
see
want
it.
to tilt it too far to make it fall. But you can see he slumped against the glass there. He did that after I blessed him and salted him and everything. Holy water. He just slumped when he went in there. He's gone. He's a goner. He
You
came
took
all
the
the.
fizz out of them.
He's from Hawaii, and I have a friend out there. You might remember her. I don't know. I think she might have been on the Creepy Dolls at one time. She used to collect haunted dolls, and I think got way too into it and had to back out and start, fixing her ways.
What was
Susan from Hawaii.
it?
Oh, I can't think of her last name. I just know her as Sue and Susan. Um, it's been a long time, I think, since she was on the haunted dolls groups. I think I remember you and Linda mentioning her one time, a long time ago when I was at your house. So, but she's a very nice lady. She just got really in deep into it, and a lot of negatives started coming in.
Oh
So she
wow,
had to pull out and start changing her
right.
atmosphere, do a lot of blessings. And this is one of the things that she was just having a rough time getting rid of it. So I said, we'll ship it over here. And she sent it in a, bless her heart, she sent it in a sandwich bag full of salt. He was buried in it.
Mm.
And he did give me a little nausea. So I recorded, I didn't do it with that doll back there. This time I recorded me doing the blessing, and it's on my YouTube channel out there. It's been 3-4 years, so you might have to scroll. Um, But yeah, I had the spirit box on while I was doing the blessing, asking, "Does this hurt?" And you could hear growling. You could hear yes. And boy, he was angry. I'm like, I'm glad it does hurt. And I kept going with the blessing and the praying to God to bless. I literally bless. Well, give God the credit. Bless the hell out of it. So it's in there in a circle of salt. But it did, because I say I'm partially sensitive. I don't want to toot my horn on. I certainly am not as talented as Cherie and some others I've met, but I can still pick up on things. And if it's negative, if it's demonic, that I can pick up on. I get nauseous, I get the shakes, or sometimes if it's really bad, I get both. And or one time, one item made my arm go numb when I sensed it, and that was, believe it or not, a Raggedy Ann doll, not Annabelle, not the real Annabelle, but a Raggedy Ann doll in a antique store here locally. I was interested when I saw it, and as soon as I touched her, it was like numb. I said, "Oh no, 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 no! You're staying put. I'm not taking you in my home, and don't follow me." They like to look for unsuspecting victims. Those of us that can sense and know, that ticks them off like, dang it, because they know better than to attach and come home with you. And I even have a spirit bouncer up here. She's not on camera, but I have a haunted painting. A very lovely lady named Hilda, who loves my. She's like my spirit nanny. She loves my spirit children. She's very soft and sweet spoken. But when I'm doing spirit box and something negative comes through, one time she even came right out and said it. He has to go. She said it just like that. If she bounces them, they're gone.
Oh, wow.
So I got some good protection here.
Sorry about the chickens.
That's okay.
They're
That's
not
always
they're not
good.
as loud as they used to be. And the good thing is,
I
I,
noticed.
I started taking my space back. So the living
Good.
room is basically cleared of most of the chickens. There's maybe like one to two hens in here, but they're quiet. It's
Yes,
clean. Oh my God, I got to clean. It's so wonderful. I can think. Before it was like it
that's
was making
good.
me scatterbrain, and it was just too
Oh
chaotic.
yeah,
I did not like it at all. So kind of it was
yeah.
really bad. But yeah, so it's better. So it's serene now.
I was gonna say I don't have to live with it, so I can say this. But I thought it was adorable in the background on the videos. But see, I don't have to live with it. You have to listen to. You
Yeah,
had to listen to it all the time. So
yeah, it was like nonstop, and
yeah.
I love animals. I really do. I love
Oh
otherwise I
yeah.
wouldn't put up with it. But at the same time, there's only so much you can handle and so much you can take within your house, because if it becomes chaotic, then not only is your space chaotic, but it makes you chaotic because it really attacks your field,
Hmm.
attacks who you are. You can't really function, and so that you got all this. It's like it was totally like a circus in here. It was awful
Hmm.
that the house was getting destroyed. It was just really not a good thing. So it's we started taking the house back. So the living room for the most part is great. Even did a little bit with the family room, but there's still a lot of chickens in there. And then in the kitchen, we got that back too. So that was good. So I'm like, wow. So a lot of meditation and trying to. They say when you start to go within and you start to make changes on the inside, it kind of trickles out to the outside, and that's kind of what it
Mm.
looks like. And it's still a work in progress. So just kind of like a lot of shit that's going on right now in the world, especially with the Schumann resonance and a lot of time shifting. Still dealing with all that crazy stuff. So yikes! I'll explain that in a little bit.
All right. Yeah, we can't wait to hear that. I know you wanted to talk about. You've had a few dreams recently, right? And one featuring a former friend and colleague of ours named Gilman.
Yeah, that was that was so surprising because that was yesterday. I woke up in the morning, and it's funny. I was having trouble sleeping, which is really unusual for me because I usually when I go to sleep I'm out. But I was having trouble sleeping, and then early in the morning, I think it was around 7ish, 7 or 8, that I had a dream, and I I just wound up in the dream. It's like I travel. And so I was all of a sudden in this space where it looked like a campsite. And there was like, like a resort, like hotels on to the right. And then in the front, there were like cabins. And I seen like a cabin and I was sitting on this bench. I don't know. I was just sitting there on this bench. And I was looking, just kind of looking out at the cabins. And then there was a lake towards the back. And I seen this person moving around and I felt it in my core saying, this is Gilman. And I was just like, so I started calling out, Gilman, Gilman, I said, hey, what are you doing? And he was doing something. He didn't hear me at first. And then he, I kept calling. And so he stood up and then turned around and walked towards me. And he's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And I said, hey, how are you doing? And so we just talked a little bit. He looked a little rough. He was with a friend. They were at this cabin, and he was with a friend, and they were going to be there, I guess, for the weekend or something like that. And but it was really strange because because I knew he passed. But it was like, I don't know, in the dream, especially when people pass, I'm there for a certain reason. I knew he was there before he even knew anything that I was even there. And it's like my soul just knew. And I was there. I talked to him for a little bit. Um, it looked from in the dream, it looked like he was kind of a little rough, and his friend was a little rough, which reminds me of his passing. Because when you go into the afterlife, you usually are cleared from all the debris of that experience. But it was like still, this is kind of weird. I never realized it, but it was kind of like it was still a part of him, like he was still processing what had happened in this realm in
Oh, yeah.
Earth. So that's kind of why he probably had that rough look to him, like he was still kind of haggard, and his friend as well. And but he was really happy to see me, and I was happy to see him. And it's and then I was there with Lance. It's funny. But Lance was, checking, the room or whatever he was doing. But it's, it's funny because a lot of times when I have dreams of people that have passed, um, we have conversation. Now, a lot of the conversations I don't really fully remember. I just know that I'm interacting with them and I have a feeling. And sometimes when I wake up, that feeling is all over me of their presence. Um, but uh, with it was weird. It was just a hi, and I see you, how are you doing, type of thing with him. Because in real, I did talk to him, online a lot, because we knew him for a couple of years, and we bought things, dolls, and we swapped, and he was in our group, and I did talk to him, I think, on the phone. One time I was supposed to meet him in Atlanta when he was going from New Orleans up to, I guess, to New York or somewhere up north. But somehow we just didn't get to meet up. I had family members coming in, and and his plane was coming in at a certain time, and it was just all crazy. So we never actually got to meet up in Atlanta, unfortunately. But but yeah, so it was kind of interesting to see him. I was surprised because usually people that I meet, there's always a reason, because I wasn't, you know, um, with some people, it's kind of like my cousins and my family. I meet them, they come in, they come to me and they talk to me, and then they leave, or they say they want to send a family member, a message for them, and they know that I guess it must be known in the realm that I worked with Melchizedek, which is life and death, transition from one life to another. Me and my sister worked, in the higher realms with Melchizedek, which is, so that was part of me, and because of that, I I usually go into these spaces, or I don't even know. It's not a house. Sometimes it's a house, but sometimes it's a space. And there's people that have left a lifetime and they're in a transition space. And I'm in there and I'm just chit chatting with everybody, just walking around. And I'm not dead. I'm one of those transitioners. So I'll walk in and talk to people, and it's really interesting. It's actually kind of lively, believe it or not. There's so many people from all over, all souls, and they go into this space before they go into another space to get ready to go into another life experience or whatever. But so I guess people that I know, whether it's online or people that I know, face to face, or family members or whatever, they usually, if they go into that, if they leave this life and they go into the transition, I usually get people contacting me, and it's just really it's interesting. I didn't know why when I was younger, why I was able to see ghosts. People call them ghosts, but it's people that have left this, earthly realm and went into transition. But I've always been able to do that. Um, Part of my paranormal crazy ever since I was born. So part of me being, it's part of whoever I am as far as a star seed, because um, there's a lot to go with that when I volunteered to come down here at this time. So those gifts we have as star seeds or envoys, we don't even we know we have them. We don't know why, because uh, we go into amnesia. We just don't know. We're born, we start growing up, and then we start having paranormal crazy, and then we just don't know why. And then society programming says, oh, no, that's all made up, you're just making it up, or you don't know, it's all imagination, or it's a dream, and da 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 da. But no, it's real. And all those different realities and realms are actually coming to the surface now. That's why we're going from 3D, 4D, which we're in 4D right now, going into the fifth, which would be the Star Trek future. Um, so these are different realities, and even in our reality, people think that that there's all these, we're going into, different a different place. All these different places are all here. So we got this world, and then we got worlds upon worlds. So dimensions upon dimensions, they're layers. And the higher you go, the more into those dimensions you'll go into. And everyone is multidimensional. It's just clearing out all the programming and the bullshit, to be
Yeah.
able to see and to feel and to know what is true. And we are all creators, so we can create our reality, but we've been lied to. So we keep our reality at a very, very low density where there's duality, there is suffering, because that's what the cabal eats off of, is that loosh, that you know the negative. So they want to keep
Mm.
people not in the positive, in a higher realm and higher consciousness. They want to keep you down as low as possible with all the heavy victimism, and the bad stuff, the hatred, the jealousy, the duality, just all that. So, but society now, the earth is actually starting to ascend out of that. And um, and everybody's talking about it now. Everybody's talking about the split. Like the people that don't want to wake up, no matter what you do, they don't want to make. They rather just keep their head in the sand, and you guys go do your thing, and we'll keep our head here. Well, those people are going to go into another timeline. Then you'll have the people that want the truth, that want to ascend, who want to go, to higher consciousness. Those people are going to go into the 5D, the Star Trek future, the you know the new golden age. So where there is abundance of everything, and I can't wait, boy. There's just so much that every day I wake up. I feel different than the day before. And like I was telling you, I watched a couple of our videos, especially like our first two that we did, our videos. Those were good
Oh,
videos,
yes.
a lot of information. But even then, because that was I think we did our first one in February, a lot has changed since then. I've changed since then. So watching that, I was like, wow, it's kind of feels almost like years ago, but it isn't. It's just a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
That's how fast time is changing.
Yeah.
And
5 months.
yeah, I mean, yesterday, I was having a weird day yesterday. I woke up and it seems like time was going so damn fast that I couldn't even keep up with it. I had a massage at 12:30, to help. I do that like every other week, to have a relax and to just it helps my especially my muscles and everything with everything going on. I feel like a truck has run me over, and I've been having headaches and migraines. That's the shifting, but a lot of I yesterday I was I woke up and I figured, oh, I have plenty of time to do this and I have plenty of time to do that and da 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 da. And I know how much time it takes to do each thing. And so I was timing myself, thinking I had plenty of time. Well, by the time I got done with my meditations, which only takes a certain amount of time, the clock, it was almost like doubled the time. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be late. And I'm thinking, so everything I was doing, it was like, it almost felt like, say, I was going to do this, it would take 10 minutes. Well, it took 30 minutes instead of 10 minutes. And I'm thinking, where's the time going? When I went even to my massage, it's a 30-minute massage. I felt like I was in there for 2 minutes. And I was thinking, okay, something's up today with the time. And so the whole day went like that. It was just, before I knew it, I mean, I was waking up, and before I knew it, I was getting ready to go. It was like 12:30 at night. And I'm thinking, that's so strange. So stuff like that, and still having a loop of doing something or watching something and then rewatching and doing re-looping that whole day. I've actually been doing that as well. So I'm thinking, okay, I am still doing that time shifting stuff because
Hmm.
it's like Groundhog Day. I had this going on. It started in April, and we're in July, in the middle of July, and I'm still doing it. So, and I think it was, a couple of weeks ago, I had a dream that I was in a room. In this room, I was talking to two people. And after I was done visiting with them, we they said that they were going to go, and they were going to like kind of like pull this room. This kind of weird. It was kind of like this room was like a house, but yet this house all of a sudden turned into like a camper. I don't know. And so they said they were going to pull this house to go somewhere. And they asked me, do you need a ride? And I'm thinking, I guess I do because I walked here, which, okay. So that's what I felt like I said in the dream. And so they said, okay, so I'm sitting in this room, and then all of a sudden the room starts to move like a camper. And we have a fifth wheel, and we go camping. So I know what it feels like. So I'm like sitting in, and the first thought that comes to me is like, I hope he drives good and that he watches what he's doing, because I know we're going to go up in the mountains. And I hope we don't fly off a cliff. That's what I was thinking. And then, so we're going up in this, I feel it moving. Okay, now this room, all of a sudden, there's no more room. There is land. And then I see the mountains. So, and I'm not being pulled anymore, but yet I still am traveling on this land. And I'm laying down, and I'm feeling this land moving like it's going up, like going up in consciousness, like it's Mother Earth going up. So I go from this room to the land that where it's literally moving. It feels like an earthquake, but it's not. It's like shaking, but it's moving up. It's so you feel like you're traveling, but it's the whole earth that's traveling. So I felt this movement, and when I woke up, I was like, whoa. you know I feel the shifting. That's what it was. I was feeling the shifting in this, what felt like, well, a very lucid dream, astral dream. So I've been seeing stuff like that. Um, and then in the daytime, I feel like I'm Groundhog Day. I'm
Oh, yeah.
twice the same day. I'll usually do it 2 times, like a day. I'll kind of do things, and then I'll redo it, uh, very similar, but then something will change. So it's like a different timeline. So I'm in 2 different timelines, and I'm there, and I'm aware of it. So it's really crazy. So
Mm.
um, I'm dealing with stuff like that. Um, I did have another dream, that was about a week ago, and it was about, and this was I was waking up, so I was in a twilight sleep. So it's not asleep but not awake. It's that in between, and that's where you have visions. Just before I was waking up, I was literally seeing dragons, and I have this thing about dragons lately. For the last couple of months, I feel a call of dragons. That sounds crazy, but that's what it is. And I feel very close to them, and I'm very close to the fairy realm for a lot of reasons. Um, but this this was very interesting. I've been getting, like, I have this little necklace. It's a dragon. One's red and one's white, and I'll tell you why. In this dream, or this vision, I see 2 dragons. One dragon is red, and it's me. I know this. The other dragon is white, and it's Sashian. And we are mirrored perfectly. There is no fighting. There's nothing like that. We are mirrored, and we're both looking at each other, and there's a circle around it. And it was very strong. And I was looking at that, and I woke up, and I was thinking, what the heck was that? And then I did a little reading, to have some more insight on it, because I knew what it meant, but I wanted to see if there was more. And then Sashian told me a little bit, and then um, I did some. I have dragon. I have 1,000 cards. I have all kinds of tarot cards, and then I have all kinds of oracle cards. And one of the oracle cards that I do have is dragon oracle cards. So I pulled out my dragon oracle cards, and I thought, okay, let's pull two, because something was telling me pull two. So I shuffled them, cut them in half, pulled out two. Guess what I pulled out? A red dragon
A
and a
dragon.
white dragon. And
Oh,
I said, holy crap.
yeah.
I was like, oh my God. It can't get any clearer than that. And so will put that in the description. I'll send you because I take pictures of my readings and stuff like that. So, and what it meant, it is just really wild that it was saying that Sasha and I, not only mirror each other, but we are in alignment. So, and the circle means we are complete. So, we are like full circle, basically. Um, then I pulled, and then I have galactic cards, galactic Starseed cards, and something told me to pull 3, so I pulled 3 of those. Well, that's interesting because it says that first contact is near, and that our Lyran DNA will be activated. So that was another card. And then the last card was the Galactic Federation of Free Worlds. That was upon us. And I was thinking, okay. So, which is very interesting. So, been having a lot of very, uh, the, and it's funny because I don't have lucid dreams or dreams every night, where I'm just constantly bombarded with it. I don't. It happens when it's time, and it's the right time, and my higher self wants to tell me something, or Sasha wants to tell me something, or Source wants to tell me something. That's when it happens. So I'll have dreams. A lot of times I'll have dreams that don't really mean anything. I don't really remember anything. But when I have a dream or a vision, it I remember all of it. And then there's a feeling that comes upon me. It's very vivid, it's very colorful. It's just like in your face, and there's no forgetting it. So that's the difference between that and just a regular snowblow dream or something. Um, when I have a lucid dream or a vision, um, or some type of astral encounter, it's very vivid and right in your face. I have a strong, intense feeling about it, and what it means, and all that. So, um, but probably I think it's been a while. It's been what, over maybe a month and a half since we've had the show. Just
I think
um,
so.
yeah,
About a month at least.
yeah, and as telling everybody, we don't come on just to, because we want to have stuff that to talk about, that we experience, or things that are going on. And on top of that, things have been a little chaotic,
Hmm.
on my side. I mean, my sister's house just, I'd say probably 3 weeks ago, caught on, or 2 weeks ago, caught on fire. So her place was in the news. It was everywhere. I was thinking, oh my God. So thank goodness she does have fire insurance, but that doesn't help right now because she can't be in the house because it's that bad. And they are going to have to reconstruct the whole house. So she'll have a new house. It'll be
Wow.
remodeled and everything, but it'll be a whole year before
It's a
she can
whole
get it.
year.
So she's going to have to, the insurance is going to provide her with a place to stay for a whole year, which she takes care of my mother, who is has dementia really, really bad, and then she has pets and stuff like that. So that's going on. So in the meantime, she's staying with my niece, her daughter. But so yeah, there's just all kinds of stuff, and then of course me cleaning up my house, which is really important to me because oh my God,
Yeah.
I just
Well,
I can't deal with
well,
dirty.
my mother was crazy too, as I already told you, and we'll tell our viewers. I had I'm not gonna say a scare. I was never scared, but a health concern right after our last show. I've been seeing a urologist for probably about 5 years
Mm,
because my dad had prostate cancer when he was in his early 50s. What they do is at a certain age, they start checking your PSA number. I think women go through this too, but I know for the men, it's late 40s, early 50s, they start checking the PSA number.
uh-huh.
And some of us, like myself, it may go up and down. The normal level is 4 or under. If it goes above 4 but comes back down, some people like me, it can bounce for whatever reason because anything can cause your PSA to go up. Making love can cause your PSA number to go up for like 72 hours. I didn't
Wow.
know that till learning
Wow.
about this. So my doctor was like, there's a lot of things, but because we want to make sure if it goes up and stays up and keeps going, I always have to check for prostate cancer because that's a big factor in the PSA number.
Hmm.
So knowing my dad had it, of course, they caught his early. They got in there. He had to go through surgery. This was 26 years ago. It's advanced a lot since then. They don't even have to do, at least not invasive surgery. They've got other techniques they can use to get rid of it. I think I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I think they may even have a medication you can take for it now. I wish other cancer was like that, but
I know
uh,
something. There's an herb, and it starts with a
mhm,
P. I just recently got it for Lance because he was talking about, him and his friends or something were talking
mhm,
about, that what you were talking
yeah,
about, and I guess one of his friends had said that he's taking an herbal supplement. So I did some
mhm,
research on it, and it's supposed to help that. So I
yes,
did buy him some. So I'll take a picture of the bottle and I'll send it to you.
okay,
It's a natural herb, and
That's
it
great.
hurt. I mean, it's supposed to help to take care of that problem, or to
Hmm.
help prevent, like a prevention. So,
Yes, yeah, they've come a long way since 26 years ago. They had to actually go in to take his out, not the prostate, but the cancer out.
mhm,
But so he's fine. I mean, 30 years ago, people were dying from that because they couldn't catch it early enough. Now it's not even a scare anymore as long as you're getting checked. But anyway, yeah, he wanted to go in and check and see if it was there. So he had to do just a prostate biopsy. Very quick process, but I had to wait 3 or 4 weeks for him to get me in. It was the earliest he could do it.
right,
And so my mind was kind of on it. Like if I'm not afraid of it, but I was like, I wonder what he's going to recommend. If it's there, how far along is it? Uh, but then he did it 2 weeks ago today. And then last week today, he called and said, nope, no cancer. It's all
ah,
benign.
that's good.
So something else probably in there. I go back in December. In fact, temporary infections can cause that. It had never gone as high as 4.8. I know my dad's hit 5 when they found his cancer. So it was very early stage. I've heard of some people going up high and they don't have cancer. It's just no telling.
Yeah.
But as long as it's not there, it's nothing to be worried about.
Well, I don't know. I
So
take 1,000 vitamins, or I should say, not vitamins. I take herbal supplements. Um,
I do have some big ones.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I got some horse pills, and
Yeah.
I take. I mean, I really do. I'm a walking supplement. Um, and well, I'm also vegan.
Yes.
And I've changed a lot of my dietary um, needs since 20 at the end of 2024, after the calls of meditation daily, and part of that meditating daily, things just I started hearing spirit talk huge to me, and that's where things started to change. I started to change. My eating habits changed. I gave up wine. What I told you about, I love wine, and I just, but I just gave up, a lot of things because I feel in my core there's a reason to do it, and um, I definitely hear that we need to take care of our bodies right now, especially as we go into the transition. And as we transition, our bodies are, we're changing from carbon to crystalline, and you could feel it. And I mean, I'm not on any big pharma. I mean, I got rid of all of it. I'm 63, and I am not on anything. They say by the time you hit like 40 or even 50, you're on 1,000 different big pharma stuff. And I don't do any of that. And I'm pretty healthy. I'm pretty, pretty good. I'm not perfect. I mean, I have a little bit of, back aches and, a little bit of arthritis, but other than that, I'm pretty darn healthy for my age and everything. And so, but I do eat very, very, um, healthy, but, a vegan diet. Um, I take a lot of supplements, so that herbal supplements, and a lot of that does clear cancer or any type of poisonings, and that's what I call it, is poisonings, because we get cancer from all the poisonings that they do with big pharma, our food, or water, or air, and all that down. Oh my God! So it's like that show on what is it? Saturday Night Live. Simmer
Saturday
down
Night
now.
Live.
Simmer down. Simmer
Oh
down.
yeah, Samadon. I remember I was watching
Simmer
that
down. Simmer down
on
now.
Peacock. That was classic now.
Oh my God.
Samadonna.
Yeah, I think that was Sherry O'Terry. I think her name
Sherry,
was.
yeah, Sherry O'Terry. I loved
Oh
her.
my
She was
God.
so cute.
She was. Some of the people on there was hilarious. I mean, I couldn't stop
Yes.
laughing. And then that was a certain period, and then the ones before, or I should say, the ones after, I didn't care about it. And then they got political and all that crap, and I was like, we're not watching
Yeah,
this. We're
that's when
not
I
watching this
stopped.
crap anymore. No thanks.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but some of those original people, oh my
Oh
God.
yeah.
I mean, I think what was the other one was Chris Kattan, you know,
Yes, he had some good ones.
Mr. Peepers or what was that?
Peepers the monkey. Yeah, Mr. Peepers.
Yeah.
That was
Oh
it.
my God! And then there was
The monkey.
Mango.
He had the ears. And
Yeah. But remember, and then there was Mango, where he was. Oh my God!
Mango.
Yes, there was that one. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah,
goodness,
that was good.
just hilarious.
He would do
Oh my
that
God.
thing and make him turn him back around,
Oh my
his
God.
prowess.
Yes, it's just all those funny things. All those
Oh,
people were really hilarious.
oh,
But
yeah.
probably a lot of them are cabal people, and now they're all clones, and who knows what.
Oh, yeah.
Yuck,
Those were
pooey.
good. Yeah, I've said from I love it from. Well, I know there were some bad seasons in there, but most of it was good from the original cast up through where you had Cherry O'Terry and Will Ferrell, and them were
Yes.
all excellent. After that, I like the little Kristen Wiig, but then when it got political,
Yeah.
it went downhill.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, Will Ferrell was pretty funny with that cowbell thing. Oh my God.
Oh,
And then
the
and then there was Christopher Walken's with
oh yeah, more
yeah.
cowbell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the cowbell thing. Oh my God. Yeah, they were a riot. But yeah.
Yeah, I
All
was
that.
gonna. What was the other one? Oh, the lovers that Will Ferrell did with Rachel Dratch. My lover.
Oh yes. That. Oh my God, that was so funny. And then she would also do that one where she was oh the what was it, Debbie Downer, and
Debbie
then
Downer. Yeah.
she
Wah
would say the
wah.
worst thing. Everybody would say, "Oh, this is so good," and then she would say something so awful
Uh-huh.
about it, and everybody just like, "What?"
Oh gosh, yeah. And some of my favorite skits are when they're doing it and they're cracking up,
Yes, because it's
and
for
it's
kids.
live, and they can't
Yeah,
stop, so they're just.
yeah.
I love it.
Oh my God. Yep. Good times of the
Good
past.
times.
Of some of the stuff that we didn't know. But I know that even during then, some of like Will Ferrell, I seen him in some of that Cabal stuff
Yeah.
where they were doing the oh my goodness, they would be at those parties where they wear those lab coats. You know where they were,
Oh.
where they would be where Lady or Mr. Gaga was.
Uh,
With those dinners that were supposed to be cabal or who knows, like
yeah.
child trafficking food. Who?
Oh yeah.
It's just really gross. So I started seeing all that. I was like, ew,
Just
no,
messed
thank
it
you.
all up, didn't it? All those great
Yeah, they
memories.
were funny, but not anymore. So no thanks. Ugh,
Yeah.
disgusting people. But
Oh.
anyway, they're in the another timeline.
Another
Let's leave them
timeline.
there. Let's leave them there. Ugh, yuck.
Oh, I forgot to mention when we were talking about Gilman earlier. I do have some of. Used to be a haunted collector, and I do have
Mhm.
some of his dolls. And I remember when he was doing the haunted doll thing, there was that skepticism because I think some people had adopted from him. And we always say we can't guarantee if we have a haunted item when it leaves that ghost is going to go with it.
Mhm.
Sometimes, it may go inactive. So I know there was talk about, oh, yeah, I don't know if Gilman's items are really haunted. Well, I got to tell you, the ones I got, my two most vocal spirits are and items are two of his that I got. One was Tessa, which I had on here one time.
Mhm.
Well, it was our last show with your sister. I had her here, showed her off, had the
Yeah.
yellow ribbon and the blazing eyes.
Mhm.
And she had been on eBay a few times before Gilman bought her. People were afraid of her. She's just very energetic. She's not bad. She's a teenage spirit, and I just love her to death. But she and his other doll, Herbie, the clown doll, he's the spirit of a middle-aged man, probably my age, who was once a circus clown when he was living. So you can imagine he's a jokester. Sometimes he comes through on the spirit box with the sweetly, like a stooge voice, sweetly. And sometimes he'll make a little quick crack. Sometimes they can get a full sentence out. Sometimes it's just words, one word or two. But you can tell he and Tessa tease each other. They go way back, I guess, since they were together with Gilman.
Mhm.
And they will banter on that spirit box, and my TikTok audience loves it. Like he called her some name, maybe because of that little chickie over there or something like that. He'll say little chickie, and she'll say whatever, and you'll hear one of them laugh. She has the most awesome giggle, and there's times she comes through so loud and clear. People in my TikTok audience, that's why I've put more focus there because they love it. And if I don't do my lives, I'm getting messaged, when are you going on? When are you going on?
Mm.
So they love it. They love hearing the Tessa and Herbie, the Tessa and Herbie show.
Oh, yep.
But we did talk about Gilman on one of those lives, and my sweetheart Reese, who's also on Creepy Dolls from England, comes on there on Saturdays when I do it, Saturday afternoon. And we were talking about Gilman, and I can't remember what Tessa first said. She said something about used to be there or something like that. I said, "That's right, Tessa. You used to uh, be in Gilman's home." And I said, "Did you like Gilman?" She said, "Nah." I said, "Uh oh." I said, "What
Mm,
was wrong?" And I think she said negative or something like that. Like
mm.
he was negative. I think it was the word negative, but it was something like that that she said that you could tell it was not a good atmosphere there, which we know
Right.
he had
Yeah.
issues.
I
So
think.
that's,
Well, actually, that sounds very, very, you know, to the point. I meant that's how
mm-hmm,
he wound up passing, is
mm-hmm,
because of the things that were going on in his life, and towards the end it was pretty rough. That's when I seen him in the dream, he
mm-hmm.
looked pretty rough, like he was still
Yeah.
processing, of this life. So I mean, uh, yeah. So obviously she's pretty correct, you know.
Yeah, and Herbie doesn't say a word. I can kind of get the feeling off of him. It's almost like what happens at Gilman stays at Gilman's. He wasn't going to get into it. It was almost that feeling I got, like he wasn't going to say anything. But Tessa was, she won't talk about herself. Something negative happened to her. I think it might have been the R word. I know YouTube doesn't like certain words, like you
Oh,
have to
right.
use unalive
Yeah.
and
It's.
stuff. TikTok is that way.
Mm.
But I think the R word followed by unalived happened to her, and she just doesn't talk about it. So people want to know what happened to you, Tessa, and I tell them she's probably not going to talk about it, and I'm not going to make her. She don't want to.
Right.
I think Gilman thought she might have been ill, which might have been along with that she had died of an illness. That could have gone right along with that.
Yeah.
But it seems like something really bad happened, and unfortunately, that happens with too many teenage girls and stuff and boys and
Well, yeah. That's part of the child trafficking crazy.
yes,
Yeah. So,
yes,
um, I mean, a lot of we don't hear about the individual stories, and I'm sure there are billions of them. So, why some of those kids are on the other side, or souls. So, but then you do hear it when there is a haunted item, or doll, or jewelry, or furniture, or land, or haunted house. That's where you start to hear about those things. So it's almost like unfinished business.
hmm,
So
yeah, it is a lot like that. But my spirits, a lot of some of them will tell you what happened. Hilda, I mentioned earlier, my spirit bouncer. Um, that was really awesome answer she gave on the. It's creepy, but kind of awesome that she was able to get a full sentence out on the spirit box. It's on my YouTube.
oh, cool.
I asked her what happened to her, if she wanted to talk about it, and she said just very straight, serious. She said, "You'd have to find my body."
Mm.
And it sounded not like, I don't know, you gotta go find her, or it wasn't, definitely wasn't she wanted me to go find her. It
Right,
was
right,
just like a
right,
confused, I don't know. You'd have to find my body to figure that out because I don't know. I was there, and now I'm here.
right,
So
right.
some kind of unexpected accident, I assume, that I can imagine you're standing there alive doing something, all of a sudden, boom, you're in spirit. And what the heck? You know,
Hmm.
I think that's what happened with what is her name, Jenny Lind in Gettysburg, the only uh, civilian casualty in the Civil War. She was in her house baking bread. It's a open It's a home museum now. You can take tours, and it's haunted. They've done some ghost tours, but she was making bread in her kitchen, and nearby in Gettysburg, they had all those battles going on. Apparently, a bullet went so far from the battlefield it went through the her back door and caught her in the back and
Oh
killed her
wow.
instantly. One minute you're kneading dough on your counter, and you're a ghost.
Right.
So something like that must have happened with. She's like, you'll have to find my body. Just casual, friendly. So, but she's a sweet lady. She's very soft spoken. I've been very blessed to have good spirits here, and the ones that try to come through the negative, they don't stay around long.
Yeah, it's
So,
funny. I mean, for me, it's almost like I think I said this before. Like whenever I go to a place that is haunted, or even like uh, a doll that calls out to me, or an item
mhm.
that calls out to me, um, it's like those energies cling to me like static cling, and it's it and I've actually like I think I mentioned this on a previous episode that where I went to one of my friend's house that she had bought this older house which wasn't like her to do something like this. That's why it totally blows me away. Because she has psychic ability, but she don't like it. She don't have anything to do with it. So um and she always told me, because she grew up in this older house, that she didn't want anything like that. So she wanted something new, something, with no haunting. And yet she buys this Legend of Hell house. I just kind of look at it just like, what? Eh, You bought this on purpose? I'm just kind of like looking at her like I'm scratching my head and thinking, who are you? I just, so it just totally blew me away that she bought this. Okay, she had me come over because she wanted me to check it out. I'm thinking, holy shit, it just blew my mind. As soon as I got out of the car, it's like bum bum bum, and I'm just like, oh my god. And so I did walk through the house with her, and she was looking at me like, so what do you think? And the first thing I said, do you really want me to be honest with you about this? Like, yeah. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you have a pile of people here. You got a pile of, haunting ghosts here that, especially a man, but there's a lot of them here. And she goes, oh yeah, we've run into the man. And I was like, I said, I can't believe you bought this. So we laugh about it now. And she loved the house. It was something about the house. It called to her, even though it had a lot of people in it,
Mhm.
already, um, but when I did go there and I checked out the house and told her about it and about this one in particular guy, this guy followed me home. He stuck to
Oh
me
gosh.
and he was with me. And I was thinking, okay. So when I came home, I did not think, I thought he would, go back, but he didn't. He followed me all the way home. And I came into the house. My family was not here. Lance had taken the girls somewhere, and so I came in here and got on the computer like I am right now. And I walked through the kitchen because that's where the carport is. So I walked through the kitchen. So anyway, I'm sitting here, and I heard the door open and close, like that. My family was home, and I said, I'm saying, I'm in here, I'm in here, and nothing. And I'm like, I'm in here, and nothing. And I'm thinking, what the heck? So I get up and go walk up, nothing. There's nobody there. And then I hear footsteps going upstairs, like boots. And I'm thinking, who's
Oh.
upstairs? So I go upstairs, nothing. And I'm thinking, oh God. And then I'm hearing crashing downstairs all of a sudden because I'm upstairs. So I'm thinking, okay. And I knew it right there. I said, Brandy's little friend had followed me home. So I called her and said, is your little man around? And she goes, funny enough, I don't think so. I said, he's over here. I said, oh my God. I told her what was going on. She started laughing. And so I couldn't help but start laughing. I was thinking, oh my God. And I said, it's typical because this had happened before. It happens to me a lot. So anyway, he wound up leaving that at the end of that day. and he never went back to her house, which was funny. At least not for a while. I think he might be back there again, but it took him a while. Um, I went to Brandy's family's house, her mother's house, big beautiful house, lots of acreage, and we walked in the back of the property because she says there was some Confederate old war graves back there. So I was like, she goes, "You want to go see it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I love stuff like that. So we went in the golf cart, and we went all the way back in there, and you could see these old graves, and so they were from the old, um, what did you call it? The Confederates, and
Oh
the
yeah, the Civil War.
Civil War. I don't know why I meant this brave part, but anyway, yeah. So the Civil War. So the headstones were there and everything. And right there, boom, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to get information. So I started feeling, these there was a young guy and there was an older one. And you could see the names on there, and then you could see the dates and stuff. And of course, one of the soldiers had followed me back home, and he stood with me for half the day, and then he left. But again, I think it comes right back to Melchizedek when I worked with the transition. That's why I have this thing where I feel people on the other side, you know, and people like to call them ghosts, but it's people on the other side without their bodies, that have been on here on Earth and then go into a transition space. So I get a lot of any place that I go to that has some type of haunting, or if there's an item or a doll or furniture or jewelry or whatever that has some type of connection with um, um, a spirit, um, I'm usually going to get information, and they kind of cling to me, for a little while. And some will contact me, talk to me, or whatever, and then some will just hang out and play games and knock over things and open and close doors and yada yada yada. And I'm like, okay, are you done having fun? I could have my house back, So, but yeah,
Yeah.
so pretty interesting.
I wanted to correct myself earlier too on that Civil War thing. Her name was Jenny Wade, not Jenny Lind.
Oh, okay.
Jenny Wade was the civilian. So if you ever look up the Jenny Wade house, I've been there. Gettysburg was interesting. I actually found old. Well, of course you can find bullets out there on the battlefield, old pellets, but I also at a local antique store found an actual bullet pouch that like soldiers used back during the war to put their ammunition in. It would, fit on their belt. It was leather and in pretty dang good shape. One of the buttons was trying to come loose, so I don't touch it much. But I have a pouch, and then I have a fork and a spoon over here in this case from the Civil War. And I have no, those are from the late 1800s. I have little child's leather booties from the late 1800s.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I have some of those for
Um,
my dolls.
yeah. So, but yeah, the pouch and stuff, the bullets I got from Gettysburg, and they've got all kinds of ghost tours. I took one that went around there near the restaurants and areas where I was staying, so it was easy to just go on a walking tour there. But they've got all kinds of drive tours and hearse tours and
Now, where
things.
was
And
this at? What place?
Gettysburg,
Oh,
Pennsylvania,
okay, cool, cool.
and
Yeah.
that's where my famous mannequin baby here is from.
Oh,
He was in a
right, right.
antique store. I got him later. They shipped him to me, but he was on a show on Travel Channel.
Yeah, yeah. I remember you
So,
telling me about that. It's funny because St. Augustine's, that was another place that I've been to,
yes.
and
Oh,
I
I want to
think
go
I
there.
told you about it, and I actually got pictures of some of the orbs or manifestation that was going on there. That was another one that followed me back to our resort. Is that we went there almost? It was like a half an hour before it was closing, and we went to the lighthouse. I guess
Ah,
ghost
oh,
ghost hunters had been there, and they caught footage.
yes.
And so, anyway, I remember going in to the bottom of the lighthouse, and I was with Lance and my two girls, and they were really small. And as soon as I walked in, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I felt like I was walking through quicksand. It was
Oh
so
yeah.
heavy and thick. And it was so heavy that I said, I got to sit down here. And he says, well, I'm going to go upstairs. Do you mind if I go upstairs? I said, no, go. I said, I can't go up there. I can't do anything. I got to sit down here. So I sat there. It was so heavy. I could feel him. I could feel the lighthouse keeper. And so I remember as we were going out, when we were, they were getting ready to close, and we were going out. And we actually literally went out with the last person that was closing up. And so as we were going out, she said, do you want to take any extra pictures, before we close it, or before she closes it? And I said, yeah. And so I said, so I took pictures of the front of the lighthouse where I felt that really bad heaviness. And I took a lot of pictures. And then we left. Um, we got them. It's funny because we actually got them developed that night. And and it was weird because we had these huge. I'll show you the picture, and then you could post it for this, for this show. But it was amazing. There was a bright blue white light that was coming
Oh.
from there, and you could see these huge orbs. And this is where I was seeing and feeling him, this lighthouse keeper. And it was and we went the next day to show them the picture. They were stunned. They said, we have never had anybody catch this, something like this. They said that they see somebody appearing when he manifests in front of people, and it's usually a white blue light. And so, and they said once, and he does that first before he appears. So I was seeing and sensing, and those pictures actually validate me feeling and seeing him. He
Mm-hmm.
actually followed us back to the resort. I felt him all around me when I left. And we went to the resort, and I was just like, my God, this heaviness was around me. And I was telling Lance, I said, that guy followed us back here. And he goes, really? He goes, well, where is he? I said, he's over there. And so he was hanging out because we're watching TV, and I had a glass of wine. The girls were, we were just hanging out after being over there. But I felt him sitting there watching us, or what Sasha would say, observing us. So it's
Uh-huh.
like he's watching us, and I'm thinking, okay. So it was time for us to go to bed. He was still there. So we went, to bed. Our youngest was in a crib at the foot of our bed. And then our other one was in between us, sleeping, and we're laying there, and I could still feel his presence. They passed out. Everybody went to sleep. I'm still laying there because I feel his presence, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? So he was in the living room. Okay, I could feel him there. Then all of a sudden, I'm laying there, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting tired now. All of a sudden, he gets up. I could feel him getting up, walking to our room. Thump, da, dump, da, dum. You could hear his little footsteps. All of a sudden, he's at the foot of our bed by my youngest daughter, and I'm thinking, what the hell are you doing? All of a sudden, he's jumped on the bed. He's
Oh.
jumping on the bed, and I'm thinking,
Oh.
what the hell? I'm looking at my Terran husband, and I'm looking at my youngest daughter, who was, I don't know, maybe 3, and I can see them just kind of just shaking as the bed's moving, as he's jumping on it. And I'm just thinking, seriously? And I finally said, stop. I said,
Uh-huh.
get the hell out of here. I mean, I yelled at him. It's like, get out of here. What are you doing? I mean, it's like, I'm stunned. It's like, how dare you? And so he stopped. The bed stopped. He got off the bed. He went to the living room, and he sat there. And he sat there. And I'm thinking, okay, well, as long as you're not on our bed jumping. I finally went to sleep. I woke up the next morning, he was gone. So I don't know what the shit that was about, but I was thinking, oh my God, really? So I don't know. I guess he wanted to catch my attention, and it kind of ticked me off, because
Uh-huh.
what you're jumping on, you're in the bedroom with my family, and you're jumping on the freaking bed. It was just like, I was stunned that he even did that. and until I yelled at him, and I didn't want to wake them up, but it was just like, get the hell out of here, And,
Uh-huh.
and when I did, he got off the bed, and then he went and sat in there until I fell asleep, and he just left. So, but I do have the picture, so I'll send that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was just really uh, one of my crazy things that spirits love to attach to me, and then
Uh-huh.
show me themselves somehow.
Yeah.
So,
My favorite story of all the encounters and things that have been told over the years at the lighthouse there, my favorite was one man that worked there. He may still work there, but this was probably a good 15 years ago when I first heard his encounter on one of those shows. They could do a whole show on whole 2 hour movie on the lighthouse, but
oh yeah,
um, he he encountered that was it you said it was the groundskeeper's
yeah,
ghost.
yep. The
He
keeper.
encountered, and it was creepy and sad. He was in the back working somewhere there. I think he was outside behind the lighthouse or somewhere. He was doing some work, some maintenance, and one of his coworkers had been inside. And this is where you could, if somebody came out, I've never been there, so I don't know how the setup is. But he was somewhere where there was a doorway behind him and a hallway and something, and he could hear if his coworker was coming. So he's got his back to it, but he's working, and he hears the footsteps coming out, doom, 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 like boots. But his coworker wore boots too, so he just assumed it was him. So he
Right,
called back over his shoulder and said, "Hey, I'm still working out here, so if you want to keep doing what you're doing in there, that's fine." So he keeps working, and then he hears the footsteps going along the ground out there, clump, clump, gravel crunching. And he calls back. He says, "Are you already done?" And from behind him, this sad, deep, gravelly voice said, "I'll never be done."
oh
And he
wow,
whirled around and looked, and nobody was there. And
wow,
the footsteps
awesome.
disappeared. So, yeah, that "I'll never be done." That would give me chill. I'd be
Oh my
excited, but
god,
I would have chills too if
I
I
just
heard
I,
that.
I love it. I'd be like, oh my god, I wish I taped this.
Yeah, yeah, I don't want to get my spirit box out, you
Because
know.
I've grown up with stuff with voices and with them
Uh-huh.
appearing in front of me and disappearing and stuff flying, books flying, furniture moving. I mean, it's just so I just wish that I could have it on camera. So when I get it on
Uh-huh.
camera, it's like, look. Yeah, I'm not crazy. Well, I am, but it,
Oh, I can tell you about a
I can
time
prove
in
it.
I tell you about a time in Vicksburg. See, I'm like that in Vicksburg, Mississippi. There's a really pleasantly haunted house there. It's a bed and breakfast called Cedar Grove. When I go to, I've only been a few times to Vicksburg on my own, but when I go, I stay there because I love it. They've got the sweetest little child spirits. There's a lady spirit there. They're really good spirits that don't bother you,
Mhm,
but you know they're there. And it's one of those houses, Civil War. One of the cannonballs went through one of the windows of the house there, and it's still embedded in the wall. It's still there
oh
today
wow,
with a sign that says "Do not touch cannonball," but it's right there,
that's where I'd be
where you
going.
can walk up to.
Touch.
Yeah, I did touch it. There's some energy there. Whew.
I'm so
But
rebellious.
oh yeah, I did. Nobody was in the room. I said, "Pfft." But
And not to do what?
yeah. But I went to this. Is it called Ravenwood or so? There's another haunted mansion. There's not a bed and breakfast, but it's open for tours. And of course, they do weekly. They'll do a nighttime ghost tour because it's very haunted. It's been on Ghost Adventures, maybe
Awesome.
Ghost Hunters, and it's very much haunted. And I've been through there on tour in the daytime while I was staying. And there's also a haunted doll museum there. This old man owns called Yesterday's Children. And there is a certain area where he has dolls for sale. And I bought a tall Melanie from Gone with the Wind doll that's in my bedroom. I think she's haunted, but that's a different story.
Mhm.
But I think this place is called Ravenwood. It's very haunted, and so much so that when I went on the tour there, the lady that was doing the tour had only been there for a few months, and she was very timid, and it was just me. So I'm basically her whole tour group.
Oh
And she
wow.
tells me, "You can take pictures, but you cannot video."
Mm.
I said, "Oh, come on, please." She said, "No, no, because we're giving the tour. It's copyright things. We don't want anything recorded." I said, "But the ghost." I
Right.
wasn't really fussing. I was just teasing her. But she said, "I know," but she said, "Take plenty of pictures. Just keep the flash off." And I did. I didn't catch anything in my pictures, but things happened during the tour that because I couldn't video, and it was so funny because we were in the main. Wasn't a parlor? Was it? Yeah, it was a parlor room.
Yeah.
But there was a chest in there. I think it was supposed to be the ladies' parlor, but there was a chest in there against the wall, a large clothing. What do they call those clothing
Wardrobe.
chests?
Wardrobe.
Wardrobe.
Yeah.
Wardrobe. Nowadays we call it unisex because either a man or a woman could use it. That's the kind of style it was.
That's all
Oh,
wardrobe.
yeah.
Men,
They
women
had
don't
it
have
out there
wardrobe.
because it was so unique, and they said they also would use it as china cabinets. So they decided to keep it out there between the. Oh yeah, it was going out of the men's parlor toward where they had the dining room. That's right. So they would also keep china and things like that sometimes. So she's sitting there talking about it, and just as pretty as you please, she's talking about one of the men that lived there who's one of the. She said he's one of our most rambunctious spirits.
Mm.
He loves to prank. He loves to this. All of a sudden, that chest, the doors just swung open, wide open, and she screamed and jumped back. And I'm standing there just grinning because I could sense him just step out of there and do this. He's a clown, like
Uh,
Herbie back there. I could sense him. I was like he just stepped out and did this, and I just started laughing and clapping. I said, "That is so awesome!" I look around and she's up against the wall, just shaking. And
that's when you should say, "Can I videotape it now?"
that's exactly what I did. I was about to say that's. I tried. I said, "Are you sure I can't video, please?" She goes, "No, no." And I think we need to leave this area. There she is, scared to death, and I'm all excited. I can't wait to
Oh
see
yeah, I love
a
it.
picture come off the wall or something. And then we go into the ladies'
Mm.
room. There was a bedroom this lady lived in, one of the last remaining of the family that lived there to the early 1900s. And after that, nobody lived there anymore. They just kept it up and turned it into a tour museum. But she had a bedroom in the back. It was sort of a later addition in the late 1800s to the house, I think, if I'm remembering right.
Mm.
And we're in there, and she's telling about the lady's spirit. And over the lady's old antique vanity was there, complete with a little cabinet where jewelry would be kept. And as the tour guide's telling the story, that cabinet just swung right open with the jewelry inside. And she turns, she goes, "And there's the lady." I looked over and I could
Oh
feel
my
this.
god, that would have been great.
I looked around. I could feel just this very peaceful lady just sitting there looking like, "What? What did I do?" I wish I could spend the night there. These spirits are so fun.
Oh my
That
god.
man spirit, the way he,
We're gonna have to go to one of those, like, have it on live. We have a show and go to one of
yes,
these places and spend the night. Oh my god, that'd be so
yes.
awesome.
And that poor tour guide, I don't think she knew it was haunted till she took the job there. And I always tell that straight up. She might not have believed it. That happens at
Oh my
Myrtle's
god, that's
Plantation
hilarious.
all the time. I love myrtles. Of course, child spirits gravitate toward me. I'm for some reason,
Oh, everything gravitates
um,
towards me that's out of body.
and my first visit to the Myrtles Plantation, there's three little girls there. Two belong to Judge Woodruff. Is his name Woodruff Clark or
Oh
Clark
yeah,
Woodruff? I get it confused. He's the one that had the servant Chloe. He chopped her ear off, and then he threatened to
I
send her out
remember
in the
that. Yeah,
fields.
I remember that on one of those episodes for hauntings at the Myrtles.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And she was going to poison the kids to nurse them back to
Yes.
health to win back his trust, and then she accidentally overdosed the kids. But
Yeah.
the two little girls, and there's a third little girl from a family after that that lived there who died of polio or something like that. And so the Woodruff girls pretty much stay invisible. One of them showed up on camera, and she looks exactly. I knew who she was when I saw the person's photo. I said, "That's the oldest Woodruff girl," because I've sensed her. But little Katie, her name was Kate. I call her Katie. has shown herself to me when I've stayed in the main downstairs bedroom. There's one room downstairs, it's a bed and breakfast room. The rest are upstairs. But I've stayed in the downstairs where her parents stayed when they were alive and living there. And she's always peeking around through the doorway, and if you try to look at her, she'll dart away. And now, when I was young, I'd take off running, but when I see her, I'd go running toward her. I'm like, no, come back, don't leave. I'd love to visit you, but she always
Okay.
disappears.
Oh,
But my first visit there, they followed me home for 2 weeks to my apartment.
oh,
My
cool.
first independent place I lived in, I was renting an apartment in Homewood. Not haunted, nothing ever happened there. And then I go and stay at Myrtle's in Louisiana and come back home. And for 2 weeks, I had activity.
Wow.
A
Cool.
candle that was on a little shelf up on the wall. I come home to find it off the shelf across the room, sitting at the bottom, across from the foot of the bed, just like intentionally, perfectly. I'm showing you I move this.
Wow.
Then one night I'm sitting watching TV, and even though I had a couch, I used to love to just sprawl out on the floor against the couch and just relax on the carpet. And I had the remote next to me, and I'm watching the show, and all of a sudden the channel changes. You
Oh,
see
yep.
the numbers show up like somebody's pressing the buttons, and I look
Right.
down,
I've had that happen.
and everything's fine. I don't see anything, so I switch the channel back, and I'm watching. And once again, the channel changes, the numbers show up, but I look at the remote, and there's nothing touching the buttons
That you could see.
that you could see. I was hoping I'd see the buttons invisible,
Right.
pressing, but that didn't happen. But the last thing was I was laying in bed on my side, about to go to sleep, and I feel a little tiny cold hand just come to rest on my back.
Mm,
Just for like a minute, I said, "Hello, hello," to see if I would hear anything. I didn't want to turn around. I was afraid, whatever, whoever, whatever. But I knew it was one of those little girls from the Myrtles. They'd followed me home. But I thought they may not want me to look at them, so I'm not going to move. But I said, "Hello, is that you?" And I didn't hear anything. And it was there for a minute, then it just sort of faded away. And it might have just been a protective good night touch,
right. Yeah.
because it was dark. I'm under the covers. That's the other thing. It's like that hand came through solid covers and came to rest on my back. The covers never moved.
Well, I wanted to let you know that they were there.
Yes. So, and that was perfectly fine with me. I guess they went home. They stayed for a few weeks and they went home.
It,
And
yeah.
they haven't followed me until uh, no, 2 years ago, 2024 in the fall. I went down there. This last time I was there. And I have a friend that owns a bed and breakfast down the road from there, Miss Ann Butler, owns the Butler Greenwood Plantation. It's been in her family ever since it was built.
Oh,
She
wow.
doesn't. She does not. She refuses to call her place haunted, and to the point where if you mention it, she'll get upset. I'm not
Oh,
haunted, but I have sensed ghosts there. I just don't tell her.
right.
Excuse me. But friendly ghosts. But anyway, I go down to the Myrtles. My friend Cece lives down there, and she came up from Baton Rouge, and we're outside during the night at Myrtle's plantation. Even though it was getting dark and the tours were over, we've both toured the house several times, so we don't care about that. We just want to sit outside the front of the house near the veranda and do spirit box,
Mm,
and they don't mind you doing that as long as you don't disturb the guests that might be staying
right.
inside. So it was my first time being there in probably several years, and they have built on a small hotel behind that house. They've added cabins.
Oh,
They've
wow.
added a big, fancy, uh, huge cottage house back there you can stay in. That's got like 4 or 5 bedrooms in it. That costs like $1,000 to stay in. All
Wow.
this stuff they've added commercially, and the first thing I felt was like as soon as I stepped on that property out of my car was like, oh my God, can you believe it? Like the spirits there going, oh my God, can you believe what you're seeing? You hadn't been here in a while. See what they've done to our place?
Right.
All these people are there, and I'm feeling such anger and upset from these spirits.
Mm,
And my friend Cece is sitting there next to me on the veranda, and it's like they were coming through me because I'm usually a calm guy, you know.
Mhm.
I started raging, and I'm screaming. I said, "What the hell do they think they're doing to this place? Things are coming out of me, and it's like I'm still there, but I've
Mhm.
lost control of my
Right,
voice.
right.
Why do they do this? They've torn all this stuff. They've brought in. People were parked in the grass. It was that
It's
crowded
almost kind of
in
like a
this.
channeling, like
Yes,
that you're
yeah,
picking up their feelings, their moods, and like an empath. Just picking all that up.
yes.
It goes right through you.
And they were coming through the spirit box too. You could hear them chiming in, but it was coming at him. And Cece was over there. She told me after. I knew it's not like I zonked out. I knew I was still there, but it was like somebody was coming through channeling.
Right, right.
So I still had control, but boy, I was letting the voice just do. And
Mhm.
Cece could see it because I was raging. And more so because not only that, but over in the yard, there's cars so crowded. The parking lot's full. They've parked in the yard in this luscious lawn with gardens. There's fucking, pardon my language, cars
Oh
and
yeah.
trucks parked.
Mm.
And before we got there, I think it was an angry spirit. The kitchen had caught on fire.
Oh
We heard,
wow.
so they had to. That's one of the reasons some of the cars were pulled over there. But I know not all of them were. It's because they had to get away from that kitchen area where the restaurant is. I said, "That's a ticked off spirit."
Mhm.
But yeah, I was raging. So finally, at the end, was calming down, and I looked at Cece. I said, "I know I'm saying a lot, but this isn't me." She goes, "I can tell. Your face changed."
Mhm.
And I said, "I think they need a break." I said, "I don't normally do this, but I know you spirits here, all dozen of you,
Right.
including these sweet children. If y'all want to come home and stay with me, come home and stay with me." And we stood up to leave. I got to tell you, I felt like a parade was behind me marching toward my car with me.
They're taking
And
your advice and taking a vacation.
yes, and they were coming through the box. Even little Katie was coming through the spirit box the next week on the TikTok, and Cece was watching. She said, "That's Katie's voice." I said, "Yeah, they followed me home." I told them, I said, "Y'all, if y'all want to stay here," I could still feel them going, "Man, I can't believe what they've done to my home. They've built all this stuff." It used to be there was a pond, a gazebo that was haunted out there where a Native American spirit used to be seen. That spirit's gone now. He,
Wow.
she took off. She's like, "Oh,
Mm.
y'all are tearing my place up. I'm getting out of here, white man."
Right.
And, it's the owners that had it. I think it's their son took over. I'm not saying anything if they happen to watch this. I'm not saying anything bad toward you,
Mm.
but just everything that's done has really upset these spirits.
Right, right.
And now they used to not even let you take pictures in the house, and now they do, which in a way I'm glad. But the one place they let you take pictures is where the haunted mirror was in the walkway in the house there in the front. But the rest of the house was off limits. Now you can just take pictures everywhere as long as you don't use a flash.
Right.
And I was happy because I'm like, great, I can take pictures that I couldn't do before. But then part of me was like, it's still invasive
Mhm.
because I was feeling these spirits' anger,
Right, right.
you
It's
know,
draining. It's very draining.
especially with there used to be the restaurant and a couple of garden rooms out there. Now it's just this extravagant little hotel building. I was
Wow.
like, what the heck is that behind the house sticking up? Cece said, that's those little hotel rooms they built on back there to give more overnight. And what used to be wooded, grassy area, clear and beautiful, is torn down, and these cottages and cabins are built now. And everything, the little hotel, everything is so jammed up close to the house, the main house. Yeah, these spirits are getting choked.
Wow.
There's so much activity there. Some of them like the company, but I think it's gotten overbearing now.
Right,
Where it
right.
used to be just so many people a night, now it's, I mean, it was even loud. You think it was a casino, all this
Mm.
chatter going on behind the house where the
Wow.
restaurant and patio were, all these people crowded in, cars pulling in and out, and we're trying to do a spirit box.
Hmm.
And while we're out there, some old dude came out the front door and looked at us like, "What are y'all doing out there?" Like he was sheriff. He didn't say nothing, but it was like that was his property, and that wasn't the owner. He was probably an overnight guest, but it was like it was his place, and we were violating it just by being there, or something. It wasn't a ghost; it was a person. I could
Oh, right.
some old dude, some what they call them Karens. I could tell
Good.
as soon as I looked at them. I can get that feeling from people when they're uppity. But oh gosh, I've prattled on, and it's an hour and a half now on the
Well, you
show.
know what? We hadn't been on for what, well, a month and a half.
A
So
month and a half, and we'll have our time back on the 23rd of July anyway.
yeah, so
So
it'll be fine. It's all good.
yeah, so shall we wrap it up here then?
Yeah, sure. That was
All right.
have
This has
things
been
to talk
great
about.
chatter, and we didn't think we'd have anything to talk about. We
Yeah,
always say that.
but
We always say that, and there's always something.
yeah.
So, thank you all for watching out there in YouTube land, and be sure to check out our places, myhauntedDolls.com and My Haunted Dolls YouTube, and be sure to go check out the Facebook pages, Spiritual Awakenings, Starseed Envoys, and Creepy Dolls and Paranormal Experience. And I keep forgetting the third one is Creepy Places that
Oh
you
yeah,
and your sister
places
do.
are paranormal. Yep.
Yes, I don't know why I keep forgetting the last part of
I
that.
forget some of them too. They all sound similar.
Yeah. But be sure to check that out, and we'll be back maybe later this month or at the beginning of August for a new episode. And until then, stay safe and happy hauntings, and see you upstairs.
Hi.
Good night, everybody.